One day daily execution planner. I'm super excited to share with you how to use the one day daily execution planner. And I'm actually going to have someone join me today, Meeks, and she is going to meet with us and talk about the one day daily execution planner. And here she is right now. Let me work on getting her in here. All right. There we go, Meeks. Let's see if you accept the request. Let's see. Accept. There you are. Look at you, gorgeous.
I'm trying to be like you, boo. I saw that skin glowing at uh that equinox, and I was like, I need to get up on that.
Well, I appreciate you. You look great. I'm so glad you decided to join. Super excited that we get a chance to talk. And we just met not too long ago. So the fact that you're interested in connecting and learning more about the one day daily execution planner, I just can't wait to kind of have this conversation and get your thoughts.
Yes, well, first off, I was gifted this by April at the Mindful Life Services fall equinox. It was a yoga event. It was beautiful. And then at the end, she comes with this stack of books. It's like, I bought books for everyone, planners, journal/planner. And so I didn't have an opportunity to start it yet. And I saw you post the other day, and I was like, hey, I'm going to start December 1st. I've been listening to Atomic Habits, and it's like, if you're going to start something, start at the beginning of the month or the beginning of the week. And so when you offered to give me a guide through this book, I'm like, yeah, I need that. I need that. So thank you for this vessel right there.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And I think one of the things, and thanks to everybody that's joining, the one day daily execution plan is what we're talking about. This is a brand that I created and developed at the end of 2022. And this is something that I believe can help people really transform their lives, implement new habits. We can talk about atomic habits. I just started rereading Atomic Habits last month, and
Great
I
book.
am so excited that you mentioned that because that is a topic for everybody.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to drop the link in here for people that join the live. It is let's see, www dot, of course, the1day.co. You can read all about the planner, even purchase one if you would like. But the one day daily execution planner is meant to help people achieve big, audacious goals by literally taking it one day at a time. So most
Mm,
people say, one day I'm going to open a salon, one day I'm going to start a business, but they never take the action. But if they actually took it literally one day at a time, they could achieve their someday, one day goals. So that's why I called it one day.
I love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. And just to piggyback on what you said about the one day, oftentimes when we're going through hard times, everybody says, take one day at a time.
Yeah.
So that was really brilliant. And so I love the idea of the execution planner. What I did is I went ahead and I filled in the months.
Hey.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to start in December. So I did from December to February. I didn't fill anything else up. I wrote myself a little note inside,
Look
and I
at
said,
you.
may all of your dreams and desires unfold right before your eyes,
Yes.
because this is going to help do that. And so I love the quotes that you have up there. And so what advice would you give to me or anyone who is just getting this lovely artifact into their hands? Like, what should we
Yeah.
do?
All right. Well, cool. Let's get right into it. So first, one day daily execution planner is meant to help you take action every day. So every day you're making progress towards your goal. Now, this isn't a planner that you just use to write down your to-do list. It's not something that you use as a way just to track just thoughts. It's very intentional. So I'm actually going to start with the very first page. Now, you went right into the months, which I think typically people do when they think about a planner. Just give me the dates, let me bubble in, let me get started. But the very first page, and people who aren't able to see this, the very first page of the planner is goal setting. And so this is all about defining what your goal is that you want to achieve. Now, this
Mm,
planner is only for a 90-day period of time. That's 3 months, 12 weeks. because that period of time is an ideal amount of time for you to execute on a goal. If you say you want to do something by the end of the year, it's less likely that you're going to do it. I'm going to do this in the next 6 months. You're giving yourself too much time. But 90 days is ideal. So you want to be able to define, what do you actually want to achieve in the next 90 days? And a lot of that comes from having a vision or purpose. So this planner is meant to be for someone who has a new habit that they want to develop, and that new habit is helping them to achieve an ultimate result, which could be, in fact, a big audacious goals, which is what I call it.
I love
So,
that. Quick question. Am I supposed
yes.
to be able to see you? Because I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Oh, you should be able to see me.
I don't.
So anybody in the chat, tell me if you can see me. And maybe there's a setting of some sort that you're able to see. So I can see a split screen. I can see myself and I can see you.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about touching anything, but if they can see us on your end, that's okay.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Josh like 30. Can you see us? Or let's see. Could you imagine? Can you see us? You just said yes. Do you see both of us? All right, we're gonna keep going. I can see you fine. Yep, says yes. They can see us both. All right, cool.
Perfect.
So at the very top, the very first one is goal setting, which is, what is your desired goal? So your goal should be a SMART goal. Now, SMART goals are typically something that's smart, specific, which is first SMART goal, SMART. S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for action, R is for realistic, and T is for timely. So with that, you want to make sure that your goal is very specific. So I'm going to give you an idea of an example. Okay. My plan is to complete a book by December 30th, 2024, meaning author a book. So my goal is to author a book by December 30th, 2024. So what that says is, what is it you're trying to achieve? What's the date you're seeking to achieve it? And it's a very simple sentence. So that's what you want to do for your desired goal.
Gotcha. Make it into a sentence and put a date on it.
And put a date on it. That is so, so important. The date is important because that's what's going to hold you accountable to achieve. Okay. Now, ideally, when you're setting your goal, you're thinking about a goal that you're able to achieve within a 90-day period. You don't want it to be so big and audacious that it's unrealistic, or too small of a period of time to actually execute. And I'll dig into that when it comes to milestones and tasks.
Okay.
All right. Now, when you set a goal, you want to make sure you have some intention behind it. So on this very first page of the planner, I also give you some key questions or statements to fill in. So let me help you understand why this is important. When you set a goal, you have to have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose or something that's driving you, you are easily to give up on it and not take action. All right. So in the planner, I'm going to read off these statements. I'm not going to go too long, but enough where you can pretty much get it. So the very first question in the planner is, how important, this is important to me because, so this goal, why is this goal important to you? And you can literally fill in the blank. This goal is important to me because. So I gave you an example. Hey, I want to write a book by December 30th, 2023, actually. This is important to me because I have a story to tell that I want to get out to the rest of the world so that they are able to identify with me and I can help someone else on their journey, right? So whatever that book is about, that might be something that will give you a reason for why you want to do it. Or if you're someone that is in real estate, hey, I really want to purchase my first home. This is important to me because this have an opportunity for me to have enough space to house me and my family. The current apartment I live in is too small. So have a reason for why you want to do it. The next statement is, when I achieve this goal, my life will. So when you complete this goal, how will this change your life? What will be the impact directly to you, right? So someone creating their first home is to be something that will be my sanctuary. This is something that will allow me to have the flexibility of having a driveway for me to park my car, and my husband to park his car. So think about some of the results of what's going to be easy about your life as a result of this goal. Then the next one is, to achieve this goal, I am willing to sacrifice. So if anything that you want, you have to give something up in order to achieve it. So if I go back to the example of writing a book and authoring it, it's going to take some time. So I may have to give up something. Maybe I'm saying I am going to give up watching TV for an hour every night. And instead of using that hour and entertaining myself, I'm going to write my book. right? I'm going
Mm.
to commit to a chapter a day. So what are you willing to sacrifice to give up? Buying that home. You may be saying, hey, you know what? I am spending too much money, which does not allow me to save up enough for my down payment. So I'm going to sacrifice going out on Friday nights with my friends, or sacrifice going on this girls trip this year because next year I want to be in my new home. So that's the intent of the very first page.
I absolutely love that. The sacrifice part made me smile because, like you said, in order for us to thrive, we have to release something, and that's takes discipline to let go of a habit that you have in order to work on something else. And I love that you said, when I achieve my goal. So it's like we're visualizing what that would be like in the future,
Yeah.
and that's going to increase some momentum behind it. Why is this important to me? Well, if I don't know why it's important, why am I doing it? And so I love the self-reflection.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. I'm glad, because the other part about setting a goal, you're actually setting your intention. And there's something that happens in your subconscious mind when you write these things down. And it actually sparks you to take action because you've identified a reason for it and you're sacrificing something, which means that when this goal is achieved, you will have more of an appreciation and rewards for what you've actually been able to overcome or achieve.
And I love the intention part because when we teach yoga, that's usually part of the initial stage when you're asking people to set their intention. What would you like to achieve from today's practice? So that was really in alignment. I was like, oh, I love the intention setting part.
Yeah, well, you're going to be excited about the other portion of the planner because you literally set your intention every day. So let me go to this next page and we're going to come to it. Now, this next one is a little bit more detailed. It might be unique to some and maybe not familiar to others. But the next page is milestones. So
Okay.
milestones are really the markers that help you to know that you're on the right track to achieve your goals, and you're identifying the major markers. So think about when you're going on a trip. Maybe you're going across country. You're going from Atlanta, you're going to California. There are some cities and states that will help you to know you're getting closer, because you never want to go on a goal or a journey and you don't know if you're making progress or not.
Mm,
So there's some major goals that, well, I call them milestones, that will help you to make sure you're making progress. And with each milestone, there may be some tasks that you have to complete in order to get there. So I'm going to use buying a home as another example. One of the
okay.
major milestones that you have for home ownership may ideally be that you want to save up the money that you need in order to put down a down payment. So one of your major milestones may be save, I'm just going to throw out a number, $8,000 by, let's see, if you want to do it, let's say in 90 days, you want to purchase this house. Maybe by the first month, you would like to have saved $8,000. So what are the ways in which what you need to do in order to create the savings? So that's your
Okay.
milestone. So your task may be, I just want to open up a savings account that I can actually save the money in. Another subtask might be, I need to create a budget that will allow me to be able to save $8,000 within a month, or maybe you already have some money, or maybe you're transferring money from a 401k. That's for my guy Alonzi. Or maybe you're trying to have that money transferred from a family member that's going to reward you, or give you money for it. But you're identifying those subtasks help you to hit that milestone of 8,000. Another major milestone might be for getting ready to buy your first home is you want to define the neighborhood that you want to live in, right? Where do you want to live, right? So some of the things that may require you to do that is to actually go around and drive around the neighborhoods to find out what you like. Or it might be, I'm going to spend time on a website to find out what is that next growing area that the city is investing in that you want to live in, so you can get that appreciation. So those are like some of the subtasks, and you want to hit dates for that. So what are the major markers that you need to hit in order to achieve your goal? Does that
That
help?
does help, but I have a quick question just for clarification. So I see we have the goal setting, and you're asking us these questions. And then for the milestones, we're breaking all of this up into our one goal into 5 key tasks. Is that what we're doing? We're
Yep.
just chunking it? Okay. What is the purpose of the chunking?
Oh man, I'm glad you asked that, because that is actually going to help you to know that you're making progress and there's small achievements. So oftentimes you have too much that you're trying to do, you can get distracted or you can give up on a goal. But if you break it down into smaller batches and pieces, it allows you to be able to, one, digest it. Like you're eating, I hate this analogy, but it makes sense. You're trying to eat an elephant. You can't eat the elephant all at one time. You got to break it down. Hate it. But ideally, you break things down into small chunks, and then that helps you to be able to make progress and to make sure that you're achieving what you want. And I didn't say this at the beginning, but I'm a project manager. That's my job. And so as a project manager, I help like companies to actually execute on big goals that they strategize. And so oftentimes companies have these major milestones that they have to hit in order to get additional money from the CEOs or the executives to keep going. So if you don't hit those milestones, you're not necessarily going to hit your goals. And so the company may not fund you to keep going with that project. So milestones are a method to help to ensure that you're making the progress and you're hitting it.
Gotcha. I never thought about that before with the milestone component.
Yeah.
It also reminded me of like, for someone who may not be really comfortable with the goal setting, because, you know, most people have heard of SMART goals before, and it's like, yeah, SMART, attainable, all of those things, but I'm not meeting my goals, you know? And so I like the chunking of the milestone. Would you recommend an accountability partner just in case you need somebody to help you stay on task?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, in fact, I encourage people to actually buy the planner and tell a friend, because together you all can achieve a lot more. Also, I serve as an accountability coach to help people that buy the planner. And that's something that I like to do, where I'm basically helping you to map out your plans for the year or map it out for the quarter, and then helping you and guide you along the way. But I highly recommend an accountability partner to help you, because you hold each other accountable and you can do it together. It'll be fun.
I like that. So we talked about goals. We talked about milestones.
Yeah.
What's the next part?
All right. So the next one is where you were, which is, well, I'll break it down this way. Because the planner is 90 days, you can actually achieve 3 goals. So there's a page for goal number 1, there's one for goal number 2, and goal number 3. So those are some additional pages there to help you.
Okay.
Yep. And then the next section is a month. It's you breaking down a month, and there's only space for 3 months. That's right. So let's say if you're going to start this the next month, let's say December 1st, December 1, you actually put December at the top, and then you like write in the different days of the week. So 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through to the 31st. And you use it as a calendar. We all know how to use a calendar. So that's pretty simple. But the calendar can be used for any of your personal plans that you have, doctor's appointments, or things with your family, or things with work, or even your major milestones that you want to hit for the month. Because this helps you to see your month in action of what's happening in your life. But it's not meant for you solely to use it just as a calendar for your activities, but it's a good way for you to look ahead on what's coming, so that as you're setting your milestones and your goals, you know what else you're set up against in order to achieve them.
Question: Why 3 goals? You know, would you recommend someone? What if I wanted to do 5 goals?
I would say that's very advantageous of you, but stick with 1 goal a month, and it will help you to have focus. And that way you're not scatterbrained and trying to do all the things, because if you try to do too much, you give up. If you try to do too much, you get overwhelmed. If you try to do too much, your life, your stress, your well-being could also suffer. Now, if you feel like you've got a good rhythm and maybe your goals all work together and they match and they're aligned, yes, that's great, but just kind of take it easy. But 90 days is enough time for you to achieve and really have that impact that you want.
I like that. Thank you.
A good question. All right. So one other thing I will call out about this month is I also identify your top 3 priorities for the month, just 3. So of all the things that you have, just identify what are the major things. In order to make this month successful, what are 3 things that are going to contribute to your month being a great success, to where you feel like you can, reflect on and say, man, this was a really good month, or I'm so excited that this month I was able to do X. So just think about those 3 priorities and you write them down at the bottom of the calendar.
You know what I'm realizing as you're sharing how to utilize this is that you have to have a plan before you even open this book, because you have to know what your priorities are for the week. So it's going to take some honesty and some self-reflection of yourself to identify what it is exactly that you need to prioritize. So I think that's
Yeah.
going to be good for people who are apprehensive with decision making. You
Right.
have to be, you have to make a decision and stand on it. So I see what you did there.
Yeah. Now keep in mind though, and this is another analogy, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. If you were going to knock down a tree, instead of taking your axe and just going at the tree, you spend time sharpening your knife first to get that axe as sharp as you possibly can, because you don't want to do it on a dual axe. So
Mm,
are planning, the most important part is you have to plan before you begin. You have to plan your work to work your plan.
mm,
So this is it's not, I don't want to say making you, and you don't have to have it all figured out, but it requires you to sit and just think. Like, think about what you're doing for the month. Like, what do you have going on? Write it out and sit and reflect on it, and you're writing it in. Now, don't get me wrong, there could be things that could come up, they could change, and you could use your pen, cross things out. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's just
mm-hmm.
something to kind of give you some guidance as a system, as a tool to help you to achieve your goals and be productive.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we'll go to the next one, which is your week one. And what this is really looking at, you've got this major goal that you want, you've got these milestones that you want to hit and some target dates. You threw it in the calendar to kind of give you an idea of what you need to do. But the next one is now saying, well, what do I need to do for the week that's going to help me to get organized about what I want to achieve? Because if you are, again, looking too far outward, you may not be able to really think about where you are now in the present. So when you think about being present, you think about yoga and your intentions, you also want to take a minute, reflect on where you are now. So within the week, oftentimes I find Sundays is the best time to do this, or Saturday, getting ready for the next.
Mm,
Think about what's coming up. And that also helps you to think about the things that would help you to make the progress that you want towards your goals as well.
gotcha, gotcha. I see you have these beautiful ribbons
Yes.
in the book. I want to talk about that a little bit later too.
Yeah.
So we
We'll
have
come
the
to that.
priorities, the week
Hmm.
at a glance, the self-reflection of, I love the recap, right?
Yeah.
Because my friend introduced me to a plan a while ago, but it was like a monthly reflection. I can't remember what I did a month
Yeah.
ago, but I appreciate the week.
Exactly. Yes, and that's another part why I put the planner this way, because when you reflect on the week, it actually helps you to reflect on what you've actually accomplished. But at the same time, people don't take a minute and think about, like, did I make the progress that I wanted? You know, was I happy this week? What was it about this past week that was fulfilling, so that you can either continue doing it or reflect on a week to say, what really didn't work for me? How can I improve? So I've had 4 questions here, or again, statements that you fill in and you reflect on. The first question is, what was the greatest accomplishment this past week? Like, what did
Mm,
you accomplish? The next one was, I was most proud of myself when, and this is kind of loving on yourself a little
I
bit. Like, I was proud
like
of
that.
myself when, right? So those are things that can help you. And then what was your greatest lesson from the week? So if you're working on home ownership, maybe something didn't quite go right. Like, man, your credit score is not where it needs to be. You've got to get this up. And maybe that may be a moment and point in time where you have to really reflect on, what do I need to do to get my credit score up so I can purchase this house? Or I learned that I want to write a chapter a day for one of my goals, but it's not enough time for me to write an entire chapter, in one day or
Right.
one week. I need more time. So those are like kind of those subtle things to kind of help you so that you can make progress. And then the
Gotcha.
last question is, if I could make one major improvement leading into next week, I would. So that gives you a chance to think about what can you improve upon and what can be better so we can make the progress. Real quick, for people that just tuned into this live, I'm sitting here with Meeks. I'm April. We are literally walking through the 1-day daily execution planner to help people understand how to use it and how to really maximize it to achieve their goals. So those who joined in, thank you for joining us. All right, so that's week one. And so the goal of this reflection, Meeks, is to think about doing this at the end of the week or the start of a new week. And so we have literally 12 of these here to help us.
I'm digging it.
Digging it? You with me?
I am. I also think too, this journal, well, this planner slash journal slash execution document, it is all about rightness. You have to be ready for this. Like, you have to be ready to do some self-reflection and to
Yeah.
identify what it is that you're wanting. This is not just a book you're going to pick up and play around with.
No.
It's very intentional.
Yes, yes. And you keep using that word intentional. I love it because this planner is meant, and I literally say this on my website, this planner is meant to help you to be intentional and mindfully achieve your goals. So it's all about mental and I actually try to use some of the methods of things that I do in my life. I do a lot of meditating. I meditate every morning and meditate even every evening. And some of this meditation is reflective in the actual journal to help people understand why it's important to take a moment of pause, reflect, and appreciate where you are. So
Mm.
I think you'll probably really appreciate this next and last section of the planner that happens throughout, which is planning your day. So before you can start thinking about what you're planning to do for the day to knock on your goals, you want to take a moment of reflection. So on the right hand side, there's like a little sun. You have the date, you have the days of the week, and you're circling it. And then you're actually going to start reflecting. So the first thing you want to do is, today I am grateful that, and you can fill that in. What are you grateful for? What is something that has really put a smile on your face, something to think about? So like I wrote today, I was super grateful that I spent time with my family over the weekend during the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm super grateful that I was able to work from home today. You know, simple things that you could take for granted, and you're just literally writing those things out. And then the next one is I am. It's an I am statement. Now, this is where
Mm.
your affirmations come in, your self-empowerment. When you're going through something that you've never done before, going after a big, audacious goal, there may be some things that you have to reaffirm about yourself. I am confident. I am organized. I'm secure about what I want to do. Or you can write it as if you've already achieved your goal. So when I said earlier you want to be an author, you can say, I am a successful author, right? Or I am a homeowner. So those are things that you're reaffirming about yourself on a daily basis.
Mm. Um, Something that stood out to me is the gratitude component, because I love to, in the morning, after I do my brain dump or my journaling, I like to take time to reflect on what I'm grateful for. And then I saw the I am, and I'm like, those are two of the most powerful words. What follows the
Yes.
matter. And
Yes.
so we're speaking the same language here.
Yes. I love it. You're my
Yes,
people.
yes, we're speaking the same language.
Yeah. And then the next one is, what are your top priorities for the day? So then I shift a little bit. What are you grateful for? And then you're going into what are your priorities? So maybe in a particular day, there might be a priority that, hey, I need to file with the realtor. She sent me a couple of properties and I just want to make sure that I go through them. Or there may be a priority of like, hey, I just want to send this email to reaffirm my editor that I'm going to complete the book today. Whatever it may be, is what are the three things you need to do today? Now, I struggle with this, to be honest. I try to put too much in a day. I say three, I end up writing in five or six, but that is not what we're supposed to do. Just go for
Got
the
you.
three. Um,
Okay.
so that kind of helps you to think about what are you going to do. And then the last piece of the reflection is, what is your intention for the day? What is
Mm.
your intention? Oprah is super big about intentions. I'm big about intentions, because your life is not meant to just go through and check things off the list and your to do, but it's very important that you think about what the intentions are that you're setting for the day. Maybe the day prior, you were really down on yourself and you were doubting about your abilities, or maybe there was something that happened in your life, but you want to reassure yourself that you have the right intentions to move forward in your day. Now, everyone has different ways of setting their intentions. Like, how do you want to show up in the day could be an intention. Maybe your intention would be the one thing that you want to make sure you do for the day. But it all depends on how you reflect on intentions. But I'm curious to know from you, Meeks, how do you look at intentions? Because you've been very big about intentions. So I bet you got the perfect answer.
For me, intention is just a guide, right? Just
Yeah.
something to keep you on the straight and narrow. Like, well, my intention today was to stay more hydrated. It helps me to monitor
Yeah.
the goal that I would like to achieve in that moment.
Yeah. No, that's good. I agree. So, I mean, that you're taking a moment to do this. Now, the gratitude, the reflection, all these things can be done in 5 minutes, but it also just depends on how you want to set yourself up. The next
Okay.
one in the middle here is your scheduling your day. Now, these little gray dots that are in the center here, those may seem odd. Like, what is that? Are these times? Are these just things I check off? You're actually scheduling it. So I'm actually going to share with you my calendar for the day that I actually did today, which is kind of set up in a way. Let me see if I can get to the page. Give me 2 seconds.
No problem.
It looks a little scary, but this is just my life.
It's
But in the
okay.
middle, I put times like 5 a.m., 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I map out what I'm going to be doing during that time. And on the
Mm.
left-hand side, I list those things out. But think of it as a planner of the time so you can schedule what you're going to be doing. So like, for example, my day today started at 5 a.m., but it might be on a Saturday where my day may start, I don't know, at 7 a.m. But I'm listing out the times that my day is going to begin and what are the things I'm going to be doing by the hour. But it's up to you how detailed you want to be. But this is where you're identifying when you're going to knock out your priorities and what do you already have scheduled. I'll pause on that.
Well, I could, because so everything I get, but I struggle with allotting time slots. You know, as an entrepreneur, it's like, well, between this time I want to do that, but sometimes things bleed into other
Yeah.
times. So what advice can you give on like someone who has like needs more structure in their day? Like sometimes I need to paint a little bit longer. Are you
Yeah.
saying that whatever I have within this time block, do that and leave it alone and keep moving?
You can, but the idea is, what are you planning to do? And our day doesn't always go that way. So just to be realistic about it, to say, if you are someone that has a routine, and I'll break this down in different ways. So let's say, for example, I have a morning routine that I am trying to establish. Let's talk about atomic habits, something new that you're implementing. There's a certain time that you want to maybe work out. So you want to slot that in for the day so that nothing else can kind of come and contradict or change that. Or you're being more intentional. Like, I have got to make sure that I eat, right? So maybe you're slotting in your lunch hour, your time. And if someone calls you during that time, you're being more intentional. Like, hey, I got to make sure I eat lunch, whatever it may be. Or there may be something that's scheduled. Like you and I were doing this live today. You may put on your schedule that at 7 o'clock, live with April. But it's not meant to hone you down to say you have to do it during this time, but it's really like, what are the things that you have scheduled for the day? And you're just organizing yourself a little bit more. But the thing is, when you have goals that you're trying to hit and you want to accomplish them, you have to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have like a 90-day period of things that you want to do, and if you want to hit these goals, you got to write some things out. You got to plan a little bit.
I got you. I'm also thinking that the key is to get up the same time every day so that you can kind of like maximize the bullets.
Yeah, you can. But one of the reasons that I also put this as undated is because you can change or alter the times. Most planners, they have a start time at like 9 a.m. and maybe someone works overnights, right? Maybe your day starts at 3 o'clock in the morning. You put in 3. Or maybe your day doesn't really kick off until, I don't know, 7 o'clock. What do you do with the 9 o'clock start on the planner? You got to scratch some things out and start at the top. So that's one thing that was unique about my planner. What I found about other planners is that they time box your time for you. But my days changed. Like yesterday, I didn't wake up at 5. I woke up at 7. So it just varies. But it's a way to kind of time block yourself a bit. And Atomic Habits talks about time blocking too.
It does. It
So
does. It does.
yeah. So I was talking about this last part, which is the reflection at night. So on the right-hand side, this is kind of my own personal planner. There's like a little moon, and then there's some key questions that you ask about yourself. Now, keep in mind, have some fun with the planner. I have different colors. I have another page. I've got some purple in there. I got some pink. I got some blue. Have fun with it.
I
Maybe
like
even use
that.
a pencil.
Okay.
But this is a moment for you to debrief from your day. So I like to do this right before I start to meditate at the end of the day. So one thing that I do, and I'll just kind of give you guys a little bit of into my life, is I like to reflect and I like to visualize my next day, or like to reflect and visualize where I'm going to be when I hit my goals. There's some power in your subconscious mind when you actually visit your goal before you actually see it come to life. So I take some time to reflect and document some of these things out. So these are some simple questions I ask myself. My biggest accomplishment today was, which is what I do during the week. I reflect on what I did for the day, biggest accomplishment. The next question would be, what worked well for me today? Like, what is something that was effective that helped me to achieve whatever goal I'm setting? What didn't work well for me today? And what will I improve for tomorrow? So there's an influencer that I follow. His name is David Shands, and he actually is an influencer for people who are first-time entrepreneurs. And oftentimes when you're an entrepreneur, you're learning new things and you're trying new things, you're figuring things out. So it's important for you to reflect on what you've been doing and what you're going to be doing. Because if you don't reflect, you don't change, your habits stay the same. And the person you are today may not be the person you need to be in order to become the person you desire to be. Right? So there's some things about you that has to change. And this is the moment that actually helps you to adjust where you need to adjust so things could be different.
I like the idea of reflecting at night. It's something that I don't do, but do sometimes. But having a document, well, a book that allows you to self-reflect at night is a great way to kind of like start your day off on a positive note. And you can revisit what you, your priorities for the day. What did I get done? How did my schedule look? And it's all so compact. It's like it's asking you to do something, but it's not, doesn't seem overwhelming. Like it's going to take 500 years.
No. And literally the morning routine is like 5 minutes, and at night it's like 5 minutes. It could be really quick. But the thing that I really like about it too is that whatever you achieved and whatever you've done in those 90 days, it's all in this book you can refer back to later. So when you talk about legacy setting and you talk about doing something you've never done before and you want your family members or you want your children to be able to execute or do the things, it's all right here. If you want to repeat it, it's all here. But think about it as like, you know, this is your journey, this is your life. I've got, I don't know how many planners I've gone through in the past 5 years to hit some of my goals. And if I didn't have a planner, my own version accountability partner, I don't think I wouldn't able to achieve the things that I did.
Well, I'm very excited about starting on December 1st. And what this is teaching me is to go deep instead of going wide.
Yes.
Because for me, I'll have like a bunch of things on my to-do list or a bunch of goals I want to hit. And I can see how being really intentional and strategic about 3 things that you would like to accomplish and maybe one goal per month, I think that you can have more momentum than trying to wear many hats at one time.
Yeah, that's it. That's so true. So true. And I want people to understand that this isn't meant to be so structured and designed in a way to conform you to do something. It's just giving you a little bit more of a roadmap or framework to help you to achieve your goals, to help you to set intentions, whatever it may be. Most planners are just used to put some dates in your to-do list. I don't want you writing down to-do lists. There's so much more to your life and your being than just checking things off. And I think a lot of times people use Post-its and pieces of paper to organize themselves. That is not going to be productive in order for you to achieve what you want. You've got to have a system, and the structure in the system is super, super helpful to help you to do that. And to give you even more reasons to why I created this planner too, I didn't really talk about this, but in 2022, I was the most productive I had ever been in life. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how it all came about. But in the first quarter of 2022, I actually flipped a single family home out of state. I was living in Chicago. I flipped a home in Chicago. When it got towards the end of that project, I actually moved to Chicago to actually finish the completion of that renovation. Once I sold that home, I invested in a restaurant back in Atlanta called Edgewood Dynasty. And that restaurant is right in the heart of Atlanta by Auburn, that Sweet Auburn area on Edgewood. And the name of the restaurant is Edgewood Dynasty.
Oh, wow.
I took my experience from that restaurant to know that it's important for you to invest in others, pour into others, while at the same time give me an opportunity to learn what it means to be an angel investor. Then in the third quarter, I actually purchased a 4-unit property in Chicago that I house hacked, which is basically living in one unit and renting out the others. So that was an investment property that I purchased with my family and my legacy of what I wanted. And it was a complete renovation that I had to do on a 4-unit property. Then in the fourth quarter, I actually created and designed this 1-day daily execution planner to help people understand how they can execute big, audacious goals.
Mm.
Now, every single quarter, I was hitting something. But the thing that helped me to do this was I had a system, I had a planner that helped me accountable, and I had a vision, I had a purpose. I was willing to sacrifice. All those things that I talk about when you first set the goal, those are things that this planner helped me to do to keep that vision. But I also had a reason for this, right? My family, we don't necessarily have people in my family that have invested in real estate. I don't have people in my family that are entrepreneurs, but it doesn't mean they're any less than, right? But I
Right.
want to be able to show them another way of life in order to produce income and assets for themselves and to be more self-sufficient. And so this planner is something that I'm sharing with others so that they too can create and do things that they've never done before, while at the same time doing something that can change their lives and change the direction of their lives and to help others. So that's part of the reason why I created the planner. And I'm also a project manager by day. So a lot of these skills and the components that I'm using are things that I've seen big Fortune 500 companies actually use and be productive with.
I love that. I love that. Well, I really think it's awesome that you utilize your experience with the journal prior to and seeing how it worked out for you. And now you're providing an opportunity for it to work out for us. I also noticed that you had some quotes, a few
Yes.
quotes from, you want to share a little bit about
Yeah.
your quote?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked me that, Meeks. So, most planners, they have these dedications or quotes from people like Aristotle, Abraham Lincoln, like white men, people that I haven't heard of. But I decided to use people that happen to be Black women or Black men to help me resonate with people that have actually inspired me in some way. So I got a quote in here from, let's see, Tracy Ellis Ross, right? I got quotes in here from Eric Thomas, who I'm inspired by, Denzel Washington. But these quotes are at the top of every page per week, and it's meant to be something that can help and guide you, keep you motivated as you're going through a planner. And it's a component that I've seen in most planners. I thought was great to have another touch within mine that is similar to the planners that I've used.
You know what this is giving? This is giving, like, I would definitely try this round one with myself, but I would
Yeah.
like to do this up with a group. And then, like, once we're done, like, take some time to look through how we've grown, how we've evolved, what we still need to work on, what are some challenges. It definitely seems like something that can be group.
I love that idea. And I think one of the things I also like about that is that other people may see something in you that you don't see. So maybe as you're setting your goals, someone may say, Meeks, that's too small. You got to go bigger.
Ooh.
Right? Or someone else may say, you know what, I know someone that has done that before. Let me connect the two of you together. And so that's where partnerships come, and that's where mentors come to help you. So I talked about your milestones and your tasks. You may not know all the milestones or tasks that you need, but you know enough just to get started. But as you meet other people and as you engage with other people, you'll start to attract people in your life that can help and guide you on how to achieve your goal. And it also serve as accountability partners at the end of the day.
I'm actually happy that thank you for volunteering to assist me with breaking down the book, because I
Yeah.
honestly don't know if I would have been able to do all of this without having your guidance. I didn't know where to start, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start December 1st, but I
Yeah.
didn't really understand what was going to be required of me. So
Yeah.
now I know before I start, I have to be prepared to shift my mindset.
Yeah.
And I can take those next couple of days before I begin to, what are some changes that I need to make? Sometimes we can hear the word sacrifice and it's like, I got to give up more. But it's not a give up. It's an exchange
Ooh.
of something greater. And so I think it's really important. The sacrifice part is something that really stood out to me. But you sharing how you utilize these skills and how you were able to have such a successful year because you had to acquiesce and release some things, but
Mm-hmm.
you were able to build a legacy for your family. And so that was well worth the sacrifice. So you sharing that story, it's like, all right, well, I can let it go. I can go to bed earlier so I can get up and work out and get my yoga on and do everything that I need to do to take care of me before I face the world and all of those things.
Yeah. And keep in mind that these things are temporary. People think that when you're giving up a sacrifice for forever, it's just for a brief period of time. And when you give up that sacrifice a little bit, you'll be so happy the rewards that come to you in the end. And I think that's a lot of reasons why people don't achieve goals, because they're not willing to give something up in order to do it. But I like the words you used, and that was an exchange, right? You're trading something off to get something greater because you decided that something else was more important for you to go after. And I also believe that God, the universe, whatever it is, you're rewarded for making that change or that shift. And you'll be so thankful and grateful that you did it once you decide to make that change. One of the sacrifices I gave up, this sounds crazy, but I didn't watch TV for not 1 year, but like 2 years. So the work that I was doing in 2022, I would not have been able to do it if I didn't do all the work I did in 2021. So my 2021 was very different from 2022. 2021 was a hustle. I was saving money. I was trying to figure out what I want to do. How do I get in real estate? I was reading. I was researching. So it's a period of time for a long-term substitute. And I like what Reggie just put. He said, let's substitute the word sacrifice for investment in self. I love that.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good point, Reggie. And I think people need to understand that you are, in fact, investing in yourself for something greater. Because without that investment, you won't get the rewards.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love all these gems dropping,
Yeah.
investment in self. And I'm very grateful for having attended the Mindful Life Services event, because I would not have had the opportunity to meet you, and I would not have been gifted this book. And it came at such an interesting time in my life for me, because I have been listening and reading The Atomic Habits heavy for the past few months, and understanding that whatever it is that I'm doing, as Reggie said, the investment in self, right? Like listening to the Audible, getting up, showing up. And I believe that this will help me to get more linear, a little bit more finite in some of the things that I need to do. So I'm interested in seeing what 3 months is going to yield. I'm very excited about, I'm grateful for today, but I'm excited about where I will be in 3 months goal-wise, because I feel like with all this reflection and it's evolution, it has to happen.
Ooh, I love that. And you know what else? I didn't say this before, is you need to plan how you're going to celebrate when you hit the goal. Because that is also going to inspire you to keep going. So if you have a vision of what you want to do once you finish and you start planning for it, I tell you, it's going to make a world of a difference for your motivation to keep going. I'm going to give you one more goal that I did in 2019. I've been using planners for forever. But one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to go to business school. And in order for me to go to business school, there was a lot of things I had to give up. I had to study for the GMAT. I was working. I was on all the things. I said, when I get accepted to business school, I'm going out of the country for the first time. I had never been out of the country before. And so I planned a trip to go to Morocco. And I went with a group of women I had never met before. And I was like, I am not going to have this goal of going out of the country based on my friends, if they can save the money, if they can go. I said, forget it. I'm going with an organized group. They've already got plans. And along the way, as I was studying for the GMAT and going to school, I was making payments to be able to go on the trip. So you have the installments, you got to make a payment every month or so. I was making payments on that trip. I was planning what I was going to wear before I got accepted. I had already had in my mind that I'm going to business school, and I'm going. And when I got that acceptance letter, and then when that next month came, that I was getting ready to, get going and get started, I was ecstatic. So that goal that you have, measure also up with a celebration to match, because that those two things go together, a goal and a celebration.
I'm happy that you mentioned that, because oftentimes we can reach a goal and never celebrate, and it's like, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? No. And so I love that you were able to, visualize and put things into place, and this was just a gentle reminder of celebrate the wins, celebrate the accomplishments.
Yeah, and celebrate life, right? Life isn't meant to just go, 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 goals. You have to be intentional about yourself, celebrate yourself. What are you going to do? And so you can live a fruitful life. And it's so funny. I heard somebody say, you going to the club on Friday nights and you popping bottles. What are you celebrating? You got nothing to celebrate for. What you doing? So it doesn't always have to be your birthday as a reason to go out and celebrate, or,
Mm,
you know, an anniversary. Like, go out and celebrate the fact that you hit a goal.
I love that.
So
I love
once
that.
I can evolve and with my brand, one of the things I want to be able to do is to celebrate people that actually use the planner, plan some big trip or an event for people when they hit those goals. I call it, you know, goal crushers, and really create an environment of women who are excited about their abilities to be intentional about their lives and hit goals and accomplish them, and just kind of set it off and then continue to do that and keep that momentum. Because I tell you, Meeks, once you hit one goal, you'll get the momentum, like, okay, what's the next thing I want to do? But not because you're checking things off the list. It's like, dang, that adrenaline. Like, what else can I do? What's next? And you have a more fruitful life.
I love that. And you know, this is not a plug, but this is a plug because I'm thinking about, like, I have three friends that I went to high school with,
Yeah.
and I was like, this would be really dope as a gift, whether
Mhm.
it's the holidays, Kwanzaa, just
Right.
because I think it's a great way for you to just kind of pass something a gift that will keep on giving to someone else.
Yeah, no, that is good. And the thing I like about that too is because it's something that you are being intentional with in terms of a gift. Because oftentimes you think about things that you're gifting someone, it could be something they're going to use, I don't know, for a day. I don't know, it's a spa day or something, right? And then of course they appreciate it. But then oftentimes you get like a planner and you're saying, hey, friend, like, you've got something big that you want to achieve. I believe in you. Here's a plan that's going to help to keep you accountable for that. Because your friends probably talk about a lot of things all the time about what we going to do, right? You know, friend,
Right.
one day I'm going to do this. One day I'm going to do that. But you can gift them with this planner as a way to say, friend, I support you in this. Like, go ahead and do that thing. Because if your friends can
Mm,
affirm you that with the support, like, that's what you need sometimes from a good friend. Like,
mm.
friend, I know the doctor told you got to lose this weight or whatever it may be. Look, I want to help you. I want to support you. Like, here's how you can use this planner to do it. I don't know, whatever it is, this is something you can do as a friend to inspire them to do the thing they say they want to do.
Well, I love that. And so where can I know you penned it, but if someone
Yeah.
is interested in purchasing this 1 day
Yeah.
execution planner slash journal, where can they go?
So again, it's theoneday.co, THEONE day.co. You can also right now get it on Amazon. It is Cyber Monday. So it is actually discounted right now on Amazon at $15.99. You can go to Amazon, purchase it, have it tomorrow, and get started and start applying what you've got. But also, you can follow me on IG. For those who are on the live but not connected, you can follow me on IG at IM_April Smith. You can also follow my brand, the1day_official, to basically tap in with me and collect my link tree and purchase a planner as well.
I love that. I love that. Well, I tell you, I will definitely be gifting a few to my loved ones
Yeah.
because, you know, we want to get right so we don't get left.
Hey, well, I never heard that before. I like that. Okay, so get right, so don't get left.
Yes.
Well, you know what? That wraps us all up. We're going to leave here. I just want to thank you, Meeks, for being willing to get on this live with me. This was even your idea. And so I'm glad I could help you and support you on your goals of what you're going to set off for December 1st. So if there's anything I can do to support you, feel free to reach out. Anyone else on this live, definitely you can reach out on my link tree to do a one-on-one free 15-minute consultation to get you going. And there's also some guidance on my link tree about how to define your vision. So as you mentioned before, Meeks, you got to be intentional with what you want. You have to know what it is. But there's a free strategy guide that can help you to set your vision for your life and who you want to be, who you want to become, and then use a planner as a way to execute that vision that you have for your life. So
I
that's all
love
I got.
that. Well, you know, I have to say you are a true testament of iron sharpens iron because oftentimes people will, you're not pushing a product. You're giving us a resource, and then you're also saying, hey, let me help you use this resource effectively and efficiently. And I think that's super awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Well, Meeks,
yes, yes.
again, thank you so much. You have a great
You
night. And thank you for those that joined
too.
the live. I
All
appreciate it.
right, Queen.
Okay.
Peace.
All right, later. All right, so thank you everyone for joining the live and helping to understand how to use the 1 day daily execution planner. So if you have more questions, if it wasn't clear for you, feel free to DM me, message me, and I will guide you along the way in order to achieve your big audacious goals in less time. Definitely go to the1day.co and check me out, and also definitely check out my link tree for some more free tools and resources to help you get started. So have a great night.